We are here as the first of 3 town hall meetings that they have here, Davis and Irvine, which is part of a process of trying to get advice, input from all of the constituencies of the university system into a report that we will be drafting to give to President Udall in early March.
There's 2 that I saw.
I'd like to make a friendly reminder to people not to discuss any pending legal activities or any legal cases you've been involved with in this room, knowing that there are plainclothes police officers in this room, and it's very likely that they have not all identified themselves.
UCOP put together a series of questions. Some of us felt like that didn't really capture what we wanted to talk about, and some of the faculty members drafted some new questions that people would feel more comfortable addressing those questions. Feel free to do so. So with that, we're proposing to break into small groups of about 10 to 15 people for the next half an hour.
I anticipated that what's going to take place here is going to be just them talking to us and saying, oh, here's what we think, and then, okay, give your 2 cents. Which was great. Why the people who showed up here, they sort of said, no, we're not going to have that. We're going to form these circles, and then we're going to bring them into our discussion. So that was great, and so I guess half of my expectations of why, or reasons of why I was coming here, was already met by people who, you know, have the same thinking style, I guess. But the other half was to have a dialogue, and I think we had the dialogue in the sense that we got to say what we thought. Whether they heard us or not, well, that's a different question.
So the seating was set up in rows. We were going to propose to break it into small groups of 10 to 15 people for the first half an hour, but people organically rearranged the seats before we got here, so we thought, why not just invite Dean Edley and Charlie Robinson to join us in a large circle and just have a conversation like that. So it's pretty organic.
We got to a point where the students on this campus could be framed as enemies.
We're looking at practices of police on campuses across the country, but I think it's also worth looking internationally where a lot of campuses don't have police. Not necessarily because I think we need to get rid of the police right away, but because the fact that they are able to have universities like that means that there are alternative ways of doing things.
If you guys want to say something or be on the staff, maybe raise your hand, we'll come over to you.
We are this public university, the premier public university in the world. And what do? We beat our students because they complain about the tuition rising. You need to be aware that that is now harming the institution.
What we've learned time and again is there is no conflict in the sense of a violent confrontation until the police come. Right? Yeah, some minor property crimes, potentially. But there is no substantial violence. The substantial violence occurs again and again and again and again when the police are called on this campus and on other campuses. Why is this place militarized? Because we are ignored again and again. We're a problem rather than a community.
When Rosa Parks refused to go to the back of the bus, that was an act of civil disobedience, and at the time it was against the law. So the whole point of civil disobedience is to refuse to comply with laws that one finds unjust.
There's repeated episodes of violence at Berkeley. There's episodes of violence at Davis. There's most recently episodes of violence at Riverside. So there's a way in which you, representing EECOP, are exactly the ones who need to be at the center of this, because clearly we have a systematic problem.
I mean, I think it was a good starting conversation around what needs to change and what we learned from previous protests and actions on campus. I think there's still a long way to go, and I'm hoping that the comments today actually make an impact on this recommendation and that we actually see policy change in a short amount of time that involves students, faculty, staff, that's not just a top-down policy change. But I think this was a great, honest dialogue with students and faculty and staff, and I'm hoping that there's more of them.
The way we can gauge this is by seeing how the next town hall meeting goes. Are they going to go and do the same thing as they always do, or are they going to come and they're going to propose to have circles, or what approach they're going to take? But if we can actually continue the dialogue even after the report, still be able to talk to them, then I'd say we've made a first step here in in the dialogue and understanding.
We certainly will address everybody's comments. One of my fears is, well, it's not a fear, but we're not going to be able to make everyone happy. But my hope is that we will at least make everyone or most people feel as though they've been heard.
This is a question where we have to keep our eye on the ball. The ball is creating a community of healthy exchange of ideas. Anytime we undertake actions that drag us away from that, our mission is imperiled.